and welcome everyone back to another Elevated Marketing Chat. We do these once a month. This is where I kind of go solo and I take a topic and try to go a little bit deeper into the topic and kind of explain it a little bit more. Of course, we've got our podcast that we put out with Brenna and I, and you see Lorraine and I going live every week at 9 a.m. But this is just kind of an opportunity for it to just be me and, kind of go on a spiel and explain a topic. So, certainly enjoy any comments, likes, shares, anything you can do to if you like the content, by all means. So today we are going to talk about full funnel marketing. And it's a term I'm sure if you are in marketing, you've certainly heard before. But, if you're just a business owner or just getting started in marketing, you might not have ever heard of the term. So, full funnel marketing is really talking about the fact that your potential buyer does have a funnel that they go through when they are considering your products or services. And you may or may not be aware of what that funnel is. And it's important to kind of recognize that funnel. Even in areas where, let's say you are a plumber or a service industry and something breaks, and somebody immediately, goes and does a Google search and sees you and makes that call. There was, in fact, a funnel that happened. If they are aware of your brand and there was other marketing that was being done, they are more likely to choose you. Now, is it possible to put marketing out and instantly kind of get that lead? Yeah, it's absolutely possible when somebody is all the way at the end of the funnel, they're ready to purchase, they're out of time, and they're trying to make that decision quickly, especially if it's in a emergency type situation. But the fact of the matter is, though, that most people are not there. In fact, on average, we've talked about this before, when somebody goes to a website, the numbers are anywhere from 2 to 5% of people do make that decision on the first time of interacting with your website. That's 95% of people who come into a website for the very first time and are just learning about you and are not going to make that purchase or that phone call or that form fill. And so, what are you doing in order to keep those people in your funnel? Now, let's kind of talk about different types of marketing to keep people in your funnel. So, certainly, there's Google Ads where people are directly searching for you. And, a lot of credit goes to Google Ads when it comes to, oh, that's directly where we are getting all of our leads from. And it might appear that way, but all the other marketing that was further up in the funnel was making an influence as well. On the other end of the spectrum, we could talk about organic social media. It rarely gets credit for actually being the form that did, in fact, get someone to make that conversion. However, it has major influence. Putting content out on social media keeps you top of mind for when they do need you. But there's all that content that you do need to create. And there's definitely different types of content. So we've written a blog post on this before, creating blog post written, creating video, subsection, live videos, short form videos, creating images. creating audio with podcast, and there's lots of ways to continue to talk about your brand to keep somebody involved that has been to your website before. Um, so that's types of marketing, but within that, there's subjects that actually do fall within, the funnel. From what is this? Tell me a little bit more about it. How does it work? How is it going to help me? How are you better than anybody else? And how do I get a hold of you? And lots of little tidbits in between, and creating content that is for all those parts, and then pushing it out will ensure that you're hitting all parts of the funnel. The trick is to make sure that all of this content lives on your website and it lives in an order in which it makes sense. So if I come into your website on, let's say, how can you help me? What's the most logical next step that you can provide and link to that content within the first content that they came into your website? So you're building a funnel within your website to kind of lead people from, okay, they thought of this, have they thought of this, have they thought of that? And you're bringing them down the funnel. The important thing to remember here is any content that you're creating out on social media should also live on your website. You don't want to put content constantly out on social media and have it have a short lifespan. You want to make sure that it can be there for the long term. The other thing that I think comes in mind when we talk about funnels is it's not actually a funnel shape. So you don't have everybody at the top and they just neatly kind of fall down to the next phase. People can start off at the top, move their way down, and then come all the way back to the top again. People can stay, at the bottom for quite a while and not pull that trigger yet. And so it's not a funnel as in, a U shape. It can kind of be all over the place. And so that is, again, why you should lay out your website so that it makes sense in terms of, if they thought of this, what is the next logical step? So making all of this content and building a funnel is certainly something that is not easy to do. It takes a lot of work, it takes time. But when you go back and look at that, 95% of people are not making that decision on the first time that they interact with you. That's why the funnel is super important. So, any good marketer, we have lots of content on this subject on our website. So certainly visit our website at elevatedmarketing.solutions. As I said in the beginning, we're putting out a podcast. We're elevatedmarketing.podcast, so you can listen to our podcasts. You can subscribe to our newsletters. We have one on both LinkedIn and on our website, so multiple places. And of course, we're on all the social media channels. So if you just want to follow us, you can follow us as well. So with that, we do have another chat coming up. And that in this one, we're going to talk about AI in the advertising world. So I've certainly talked about this topic with Lorraine, and there has also been this topic discussed in a podcast. But hey, maybe you just listen to these lives, and that's why I put it in a different form, because this video will go to YouTube as well. So that's it for today. Take care and have a great day.